Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another pointless City Skyline experimental video. And today I answer the question. I don't ask any questions. I always answer questions on this channel. Can a city be self-sufficient? Well, we're going to find out, guys. We're going to find out. Now, this is actually quite a weird experiment because I've kind of done something like this similar in the past before, and it revolves around the water. Now, we all know a city needs water to function. It's one of the many things it needs to function. And you pretty much either suck it up from a water source or you place down a water tower and then you funnel it into pipes, and that's how a city gets water. But I want to find out what happens when you're, one, don't have the availability to maybe place down a tower, which in what world won't you? I have no idea. What happens if there's no water sources nearby, like a river or a little bit of pond you can suck from? Can we recycle the unused water that a city does not use and funnel it into a system of creating clean drinking water that they can suck up? Now, I've done this kind of experiment in the past where we've turned dirty sewage water into clean drinking water, but we've never done it in a kind of sense that is how they function. Like, they'll get the water from a single tower, which I'll show you right now. I've got this little city set up right now. We've got a single tower, water tower in the city, and you can see from my city vitals right now, the water availability is almost in the orange section, and that is the only way that they get their water. What we're then going to do is we're going to create a big trench near the edge of it, where we're going to funnel in the unused water into it, and then we'll get it to suck back up via a pump. Now, how that's going to work is a little bit weird because we all fully know that unused water will get sucked back up into the pump. It will still be classed as unused water. It will get sucked back up into the pump. But as this city keeps growing, it's going to keep using more and more water. So, what we then need to do is pump out. Now, right now, our sewage treatment is being handled by this basin. So, while they do use the water for drinking water, they then pump out sewage water, which we then need to turn that sewage water into clean drinking water that we can then pump back up. So this vicious cycle all comes down to then, how greedy is the city going to be? If they're too greedy, they won't have enough drinking water. If they're a little bit more relaxed and a little bit more preservative and kind of be more self-sufficient, they will have a never-ending source of clean drinking water. Sounds complicated, right? But just bear with me on this one. It's kind of going to be really interesting. It's probably something that you can maybe implement into your own cities. So guys, if you do enjoy this, then please make sure you do smash that like button down below. If you want to see more fun experimental City Skyline videos like this in the future, then make sure you do subscribe, guys, so you get notified when more episodes do come out. And most importantly, if you got any like experiments you want me to try and test or ideas that you might have in your head, let me know in the comment section and I might test them out in the future. So let's kind of do this in stages, okay? So right now, again, we'll kind of briefly go over it. We've got a city. It's slowly growing, and we'll add in a little bit more industry just here, because it's requesting a little bit more industry right now. It's slowly growing, which means it will slowly start using more and more water. This whole city is being kind of filtered or kind of utilized by one simple large water tower. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a bit of a trench right now and use this, a fresh water outlet. And what that does, it takes unused water, because obviously we're above our availability at the moment, and then pumps it out from the little kind of outlet. Now, we're going to create a trench. So basically what it's going to do, if I pause the game real quick right now, is turn that trench, hopefully, into a kind of like a... What's the correct word for it? I can't quite think of what the correct word for it would be. I'll kind of go half the height right now at 30. How deep down does that go? Yeah, that will work perfect. It'll become like a reservoir. Is that the correct term I'm kind of looking for? I think I'm looking for the word reservoir. So I bring that to there. We'll kind of push it up a bit more. We'll make it quite long because I don't fully know how deep we're going to need it. And we'll also use a key wall as well to kind of edge this all off. So if I just kind of get the rough basics kind of all in, and then we'll sort the rest out as time goes on. So there's my sweet little basin right now. We'll actually make it a little bit wider, well, longer. There we go. And I'll bring it up to here a bit more as well. So that's where I can pump out the sewage. And then we'll bring it all the way down. So if I just kind of pretty much bring it to here, I think that might be a bit too wide. Up to here maybe. There we go. And then we'll just kind of sort out now. Can I do a key wall even though I haven't got anything added in? I should be able to, right? So if I start, let's say here, and we'll come down by 25. Go all the way across here by... What is that going all the way across? 190. Up to there by 75. Across by... We'll go across by 20. We'll keep it quite simple just here. And then here, because I don't know exactly how it's going to connect up. If I just do it to there for now, bring that down. Bam, ba, bam, bam, bam. So it's not perfect. It's not beautiful. But it should do just the job. So we've got this created then. Now imagine implementing a system like this in your own city. This would be kind of crazy. It means you can kind of be really like environmentally friendly. You could be be more self-sufficient. And you can really change how, or try to change how the citizens live in your own cities. So we'll just get all these edges all now set up so it's pretty much all back to normal. No issues. And we can get this experiment then fully rocking and rolling. So in the actual basin itself then, try and make the edges cut in as much as possible. There we go. I think we're all sorted down here. Let's get this little top bit there sorted. Run it down the sides. I think that's good to go. There's no point me kind of fine-tuning all the little bits because you can get carried away, but that's not the whole point of it. So, this is what we have now pretty much set up. So, if I added in then our little flood thing, so if I dropped it, as you can see, dropped it about, for example, I don't know, here. What we then do is get the water pipe, bring it all up. I don't know if it needs power, but that's now connected up. And we'll do it on both sides as well. So any excess water that we now have, I put it into play mode. I don't know if it needs power or not. It will then get pumped through this little pipe into here. So if I have a little fast forward, it shouldn't take too long. Okay, it does need power. Let me quickly pause. So we'll bring the power from just over here. So I don't think it's enough to slowly fill this up, but it's enough to kind of keep us going. We've got a constant water flow going in. So any excess water availability right now is being pumped straight back into this little basin. Now, eventually, what would be good is that at the very end over here, we'll have a water pump to suck it back up so we can then use it. Now, granted, you don't need to do this process because any extra water, it's already in the system anyway. This is just more of a visual representation of how you can kind of work with it. But you can never take more, or you can never get more from what you're putting in. So as the city slowly grows and it needs more and more water to survive, eventually that pump here, or flood thingy, will run dry. So that's then basically where we need to then change how we implement and use our sewage. So rather than use it or being treated by a basin, maybe over here I place down a couple of sewage pumps or outlets that drop the sewage water in. That will then funnel down this way. We'll then set up a load of floating garbage stuff so we can kind of transform into clean drinking water. And then that's pretty much how we are then going to use the access. So even though we are using all of this eventually, we need to change how we use the sewage. So then our water availability will then shoot up even higher. And then truly then we are self-sufficient when it comes to the water side of things. It's going to be kind of crazy. Now this will take a while to kind of get all up and running. So what I need to do next then is before I add in or implement the sewage water in, I need to kind of create a little bit of a height difference. So we're now on 30 here. So if I put this to 35, and then we kind of start from this side over there, I've got to create a little bit of a height difference so I can create the flow of the water. So when I implement all the sewage water in right now, it goes in a certain direction rather than coming back up because I need it to flow through our garbage collectors to turn it into clean drinking water. So if I bring it down to here, there we go right now. It's only a slight dip. but it should be exactly what I need. In the case, so I've got 35 there. Then I'll do a 40 and start it from over here. So this one's a little bit higher, but this should be perfect right now. So bringing this again so far down. There we go. So again, like I said, we're doing it in stages. There's only a small little dip there, but the water's slowly starting to kind of fill up. So as the city keeps growing right now, my water availability is getting really, really low. But the looks of it, the city needs a little bit of garbage handling right now. If I bring this road going straight across, maybe a road going there straight across, just go give a few more crossing paths right there to allow the garbage trucks to kind of get through a whole lot easier. Because it looks like they're having a little bit... I mean, our garbage processing power is really shocking anyway. So if I get a couple of incinerators to kind of help us out as well. There we go. So our water treatment, it probably might kill off our kind of whole water outlet right now with those additional buildings. But that's slowly going to, hopefully might slowly start filling up, which is really good. So, then what we need to do is, I think first things first then, I kind of do need this filling up a little bit more before I can place down my floating garbage collectors. So how it works is then we place down, if I can quickly find them, where are they right now? Where are you, you folios? Do they fall within the garbage stuff? Like in this? They do here, the floating garbage collector. We place these down, and any water flowing through it gets purified into clean water. Now we're going to need quite a bit of that being added and thrown in. So while I could wait for that to kind of fill up, what I could also do as well is maybe add a few additional ones of these in to really bulk up right now the amount of water flowing out. I don't know if this will increase it, but I'll add them all in anyway. I don't know if any of them will turn on now. If they do, benefits to your boy. If not, they'll probably eventually get turned on when we start utilizing more water. Oh, there we go. A few more have now turned on. So that will kind of now really start to bulk up the amount of water in this little section. And then once it fills up a bit more and we got a little bit more depth in there, we can then hopefully then place down the floating garbage collectors. And then once you get the sewage in, it will all funnel down and hopefully get cleaned. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed, he says. So I'm just now hoping I can fill this up. It might take a minute or two, but it should be good. It should be good. So I've got the one tower here. Any extras get dumped in, but then we'll utilize the sewage water, and then we'll put the pump at the very end to suck it all back up, and then it's just a vicious cycle. Hopefully, this is gonna work, and we can pretty much borderline become self-sufficient. Yikes, this is going to be interesting. The population right now of 14,000, about to hopefully go self-sufficient. I don't think this is going to fill up because I don't think we're funneling enough water in, to be honest with you. So, let's get this now set up then for the sewage side of it. Now, I could use the drain pipes here, which do pump out a lot more water. But at the same time, if I can do it eco-friendly, now I could use these ones, but I'm going to use these ones because I can put more in on the line. Use the eco-friendly ones because then the water kind of comes out a little bit cleaner from the get-go. It's not amazingly much cleaner, but it can come out a little bit cleaner anyway. So that will now dump a load of sewage in. Now if I turned our basin off, right, it should then completely keep up our sewage stuff's going on. And then if I just kind of quickly pause it, so when we take a look at how dirty the water is, so that comes with pollution. So the water is kind of semi-clean already. I don't think we've given it enough time yet to kind of seep through. Have we? It's quite expensive. Helps purify the water let out. Pollution is reduced, but not completely gone, basically. So it is kind of still there. But I haven't turned this into clean drinking water as of yet anyway. So it will slowly get polluted as time goes on. But that gives me enough time right now to kind of create a little bit more depth in this area. And while the water availability is getting really, really low, if I started zoning any more buildings, they would need to use a little bit more. So keep increasing, keep flowing it all in, slowly going up. And then we'll get to the point eventually where I'm going to have to start pumping it all up because, you know, damn, it's going to get a little bit too deep. It is going to get a little bit too deep right now. So, just got to give it a little bit of time. Got to give it a little bit of time. So, average ground pollution is like that. So, then if I utilize the big modded, that's not the modded one, the large pumping station at the very end. No, it's not pumping anything up just yet. It ain't pumping anything up just yet. And I think while we're waiting for that water to slowly get turned bad, I'm then going to start placing in the floating garbage collectors. So drop one here. So I'm going to drop a load along right now. So I'll place as many as I can. Get them all staggered. So hopefully, you know, the water hits at least one of them as it passes through. It's kind of what we're hoping for. And the pollution. Even though it says it's not fully gone, I'm starting to not believe that. I really am. I really am starting to not believe that right now. But it is slowly filling up anyway. Like I said, it'll take a little bit of time, but it's slowly getting there. So I'll wait for it to get a little bit deeper. I'll wait for it to get a little bit deeper. Now grow around the edges, and our water availability has now, for the first time, entered the little orangey, ambery kind of colour right there. We're almost at to our 160,000 capacity. It's slowly happening. It's slowly creeping up. The pollution is now slowly becoming more noticeable. You can see we're starting to get the darker shade of the arrows, which, you know, is polluted in that kind of sense. And we're going to get hooked up as well, this to the power. It's not connected to the water network just yet. We're just going to keep that rocking and rolling. So this whole city right now just wants more and more industry. There is like nothing more I can pretty much do about this apart from give them more and more industry. But I think I'll drop down a few more offices to kind of separate the gaps. And maybe just kind of bring this all the way up as well, so it's kind of complete more zoning. So more and more offices being thrown down right now, because that is pretty much what they're borderline requesting. But this is getting a whole lot deeper right now, this water. A whole lot deeper. And once it requires it, we are then going to start pumping up the water from this water pump over here. Interesting. So eventually, these will kind of just cut themselves off because there's no excess water available. And it's all pretty much based off then recycling the sewage water that they're then starting to drink. So while all the upgrades happen, I got this the Eden project down right now so I can keep causing the upgrades. Slowly starting to happen. Look at that. Oh, we're now like getting towards the middle end of the orange section. But as soon as I turn this on, it's going to start pumping up loads of water. So I'm hoping we've got enough funneling into it. That's why we kind of give ourselves a little bit of head start by creating this huge reservoir right now. So all these need water. That's not good, is it? I haven't placed any water pipes down here. There we go. Cover up that there. So by giving them the water right now, that'll take another huge chunk out of our current demands that we've currently got going on right now. And that will then spark a little bit more growth in other places, bring a few more people in. And maybe I'll zone. Oh, I don't need this anymore. Zone a bit more residential on these little sides right now. And then I think that is going to put the final nail in the coffin for us right now with any excess water that we're pretty much using. So we're at 157 out of the 160 that we have pretty much available. And that is going to pretty much call it a day for any excess water. Any minute now, we should finally get to the very end. There we go. They've turned off. They finally now have officially turned off as there's no excess water. Which means that they are then going to start complaining that we don't have enough water. So we're at our full capacity right now. We're actually using more than what we have. And we're starting to get our first few signs. And did you notice it then of the water availability? So again, it's over. They're going to be complaining. They're not going to be liking it. But this is where this experiment comes into play. So look at how dirty these little arrows are right now. I'm hoping this cleans it up enough. The average drinking water pollution right now is 0. So that will all change once I get this in. So by implementing you, that then starts sucking the water up, which then our water availability skyrockets. It does skyrocket at that point. But again, it's pretty much only going to use what it needs. So, gotta make sure we don't overfill too much. And is that working? It's working normally, so that's all good. So then we can slowly start to add in more of the residential down. To again, keep bulking up the amount of people living here. But I gotta be a bit careful. So if I turn some of these now off. Actually, I'll turn all of them off. Just so we can get a little bit of a head start, a little bit of a leeway right now of using our current reserves. Is that now sucking up? It's slowly sucking. It won't suck up loads, just because of how naturally... Oh, okay, we still need some garbage sewer outlet right now. I forgot about that. Sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. Okay, we've got to use another one. I could just turn on the basin, couldn't I? Right, sewage treatment. Taking place. Okay, 3 of them. My bad. My bad. My bad, guys. I'm so sorry. So, now we're doing really good. Now, you could argue, turn this water tower off. But I still need that. Because you can never... It's like trying to create perpetual energy. Like an infinite source. You can't put in more than you take away from it. So you've always got to have that little extra. You've always got to have that little bit of extra right now. So that is pumping up, as you can see, slowly. And it's all about then eventually finding that nice little balance with how much we're using. So as time now goes on, I think we should slowly look at extending the city and trying to get it and cause it to use more water. So I'll just quickly pause right now. Get this all added in. I can't get that there because we have the university. If I just move the university down slightly. And then just get all the other roads added in. So, bam. Bam, straight across. Right, all good. Get the water all added in as well. So this will just cause literally more and more people, 1, to move in. And 2, to use all of our water. I'll add that all into there. I'll get in some commercial just thrown in there. They want more and more industrial. So we're going to have to give it to them. So I'm just going to do like a very basic kind of setup right now. Oh, I completely messed that up, didn't I? Completely messed that up, boys. There we go. Yeah, I mean, it'll be fine. I mean, I'm not trying to make the world's best city. I'm trying to create something self-sufficient. Drop a load of industrial in this little section right now. And we're back in business. Just let them do what they've got to do at this point. Let them do what they've got to do. So that will all slowly build up. We've got a little bit of death going on. Now, could that be down to the drinking water? Oh, conspiracies right now, boys. Conspiracies. Pollution. So the average drinking water is still looking good. But look how dark those arrows are. They're not looking good, are they? They truly aren't. But we're able to keep it going. So keep an eye on the sewage treatment. Because as it dips down, we increase it. But as it dips down, the water usage should be increased a bit more, so they should be using even more water being sucked up over here. Now, my biggest problem is this here right now. Turning these off. Because now, all that excess water, we no longer need to go in. We no longer need it to go in as much. That's what's causing this now to be also filled up so high. And then we'll keep an eye on the water levels. If they do start to dramatically go down, we'll turn the other ones on. Actually, I'll turn this next one on right now, because our sewage treatment's getting a little bit low. So with the increase in people moving in, at the minute it's working, as long as nobody gets ill. As long as nobody gets ill, we should be okay. So pollution, so as the ground pollution keeps slowly increasing, do you think I should add on a few sewage outlets that do contain pollution, just to really see if these kind of come into their full momentum? Right, I'll do 2 on the side. And we'll see what happens. I mean, at the end of the day, I gotta make sure that this is pumping up enough water. So for now, I could turn this off, just to try and get this to kind of suck up a little bit more. But I don't think it's truly gonna go over the top just yet, because there is so much in here. But is it now? Is the pollution? I'm nervous. I don't know why, but I kind of low-key feel a little bit nervous. At the moment then, with expanding the city now, something I just realised, and I feel so foolish. I got the freaking Eden project. I forgot that reduces pollution. But get rid of that anyway. Because then, by getting rid of it or turning it off, real pollution starts to become available. So if I just turn off these big committers, and it's just the normal pollution, then we really get to see then if it's eco pumps really do get cleaned with what I've got put down. I've got a few extra pumps at the bottom too, to kind of suck up all the water. But this is where you truly have to believe that they are now going to do what they're meant to do. So I could drop a few extras down. And just hope that, you know, it all gets nicely cleaned. And we are as efficient as we have ever been before in our whole entire lives. So when my city vitals gone. So sewage treatment not looking too good, but I need to keep sucking up more and more water, which you're doing a fantastic job with at the minute. And is the sewage slowly seeping through? I mean, the average drinking water is still at 0% at the minute, so nothing's kind of creeping into it, which is a good sign. I could turn you on and you on to pump a little bit more in. Again, granted, these are not the biggest vendors, so we can get through it there. I'm just wondering if that little bit of a... it's kind of slightly cutting past a little bit, isn't it? If I kind of anarchy on, and I get a few on the very edge. Right there. But yeah, it's definitely being polluted. No question about it. It depends how much actually gets in to the water system. It's looking pretty blue right now. So turn off the Eden project anyway, isn't that really caused really low land value for these guys? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. The city's going to go through a massive change right now. But it's all looking pretty good. I've got this tower turned off, which I can pretty much now turn it back on. Because all the water here is coming from them using it. It all gets based off this one tower. So even though, right, it says that my water kind of availability is 784,000, it's not. It's not, because the water that these pumps are sucking up is the sewage water that comes from here. And that sewage water comes from this water tower. So in reality, my pumping capacity is only 160,000. That's literally what it all comes down to. So I've kind of broken the game in that sense to thinking there's more water available than what there actually is. But look at how low the water levels are now going. So I'm going to turn on... I mean, I can turn on all the sewage I want. I'm not producing enough. But then my other option is to turn on these. Because I've tricked these to thinking that there's more water available than what there actually is. So in that kind of sense, you are kind of borderline creating like an infinite water source. If we can keep up with the demand of the water. Because you kind of have to mix it between having additional sewage and all these as well. So to turn these on right now can hopefully bulk up the amount going in. That one won't turn on right now because, you know, we're not producing enough sewage. But I'm hoping with the excess water flooding out that's being pumped up, we can get back on level. But you gotta forget all this, because it all comes down to the capacity of that single water tower. That's what it all comes down to in the end of it. Now, how is the pollution holding up? So, drinking water 0%, so that does exactly what we need it to do. It does everything right now, there's no question about it. The question is right now, can I balance this out? Because the water levels are looking lower than I've ever looked before. I'm starting to see a little bit more sand popping through. Oh, it's starting to suck up sand towards the end right now. This is never too good. But is it possible though? That is the question that I need to know the answers to. We're going to find out. Because this is now make or break. Question is, am I using too many pumps? If I turn off these 2 pumps right now and just stand alone at that one. It says my capacity now is at 500,000, but we all know it's not. We all know it's 160,000. So 160,000 for the water tower. And then your extra on top from what you're dumping in is what kind of gives us a higher capacity. So we know we got a baseline of 160,000, but we never know how much water's being pumped out here. We don't, I mean, well, we do know it's like 60,000, so you can add that on top of the drinking water. So I think as long as you find the right balance between it, then you've got this kind of, I wouldn't say infinite water source because you still need at least 1 tower, but you've got this infinite source that you can keep on going. That you've got to, I mean, you've got to control it pretty well. But I think it's possible. I think we've kind of found this little level playing field right now. That's working. We've tricked the game into thinking there's more water than what there is, which means it pumps out more water from these. I wonder if I can continue that momentum with these right now. So because the statistic says we have more pumping capacity than what we do, I believe that is then tricking these water outlets to thinking that it can pump out more water than there actually is. So I've got them all down right now. I wonder how many of them actually turn on, if any of them turn on, to be quite frank. There we go. Oh, no. All of them turn on. Because again, they're still thinking there's more water available than what there is. But there's not. That's the crazy thing. There's not. So I'm hoping that then bulks up the water down here. I feel like I've messed up the game. I feel like I've truly messed up the game right now. Is it looking low again? I mean, it is looking low. I think we are slowly draining it out to the point where there's nothing left available. So maybe I'm placing some more sewage outlets. So I don't know if I'm about to turn any more of these on. I'll go with these ones first, just see what happens. So do any of them turn on? Okay, a couple do. So 2 out of the 5, or the 4 that I just placed down is not too bad. Oh, it actually turned that one. Oh, and that one turned on, okay. So it pumps a little bit extra water in right now. We're trying to increase the amount of water flowing through this, so any additional pump is beneficial. It does mean more sewage coming through, which means these garbage collectors have to work a little bit more harder. But it's okay. It's okay. We're rocking and a rolling. And I think it's currently safe to say we have tricked the game into thinking there's more water available than what there actually is. Which kind of means that they are self-sufficient in that sense. This whole population. So basically what I'm saying is I've managed to turn a city that needs 240,000 gallons of water into only using a water tower that pumps up 160,000. I've managed to make them a little bit more efficient. To recycle the water. If you implemented this in your own city, you're going to be doing a lot of playing around, a lot of micromanagement over this whole little system. It's very expensive. Very expensive, the amount of kind of stuff I've got added in to kind of keep us going. But we've got it good to the point right now where we've got rid of the sand trap at the bottom. And it's all efficient. I've truly have, guys, and I can't express this enough right now. I've truly tricked the game into thinking that we have more water available than what we have right now. What is going on? And with that information, I don't know what you can do with that information, guys, but do as you wish with the information right now. I don't know. I don't know what to do with that information. Does this mean it's possible to create infinite water sources? The argument could be you are pumping out a load of sewage water, which is making you feel like you've got more water than what you actually have. But does the game understand that? I don't think the game does. And on that note, guys, we have created a self-sufficient city using more water than we have available. But the game doesn't know that. I don't think it ever will, guys. I don't think it ever will. And on that note, we are going to end it for here. I hope you guys did enjoy this pointless Skylines experimental video. If you did, smash that like button down below. And until next time, guys, I'll see you all soon. So, goodbye.